It's me, Erica Swanson, coming to you from the Bellossoms tree. Here to share a little bit of my process in drawing an episode. I'm going to sit here and draw some frame by frames, and you guys can kind of see how the process comes together in real time and how actually long this takes to draw. You can see my mouse here and that little tablet screen that I draw on, and a mad glove. And yeah, I gotta get to work because this episode needs to come out in sooner than I have frames done. So I'm gonna draw, and if I come up with any sort of commentary, let me see, tree here. I'm in the middle of the scene actually. I didn't finish, so I gotta reacquaint myself with it. I'll show you real quick. This is my preview. The vine is coming to grab her, and she's like, ew, I don't want it, I don't like it, but I just wanted another frame in between here and here to show a little bit, give it a little bit more life. I think you'll kind of see what I mean when I go to do this, because I don't want it to be like exact, but it's not a real exaggerated movement in here. It's just a reactionary movement. A lot of the times for when I'm doing frame by frame, which is actually drawing every single movement, there's a lot of trying to find in between. So like I drew this frame here and this frame here, and then I had to figure out how to get from here to here. So that's what you're seeing building up, but then we see together it's a lot smoother. Just kind of figuring out reaction times and stuff. But I think she's going to kind of pull her hand back a little bit. Gotta keep some of the lines for continuity. These are not, I'm not great at this, I'll be honest. These are not, I don't go for perfection, and these are not perfect. I kind of go for, I want to finish it. That's the look I go for. Is it finished? Finished enough for you guys to get the idea. Couple steps above stick figure. But stick figures would get the job done. And a good story, any good story can be told with just stick figures. After that, it's just a matter of style. And sometimes I do all this drawing and scrap it because it doesn't do what I want it to do, or I have too many and it kind of impedes the movement. I want it to look as smooth as possible with as few drawings as possible because it's just me. I mean, sometimes these drawings, in a real animation studio, just doing this motion would be 50 drawings maybe. I don't have that kind of time. You know I don't. I might give her just a little bit more. Okay. So she snaps it back. Let's see what happens. I might have even done too much. And the rest of her won't really move. I might make her eyes bulge out a little bit more. I should also mention, I hope this works, my computer crashed earlier this morning. If you've been following my journey in some of my videos, you'll know that mid-video sometimes. Sometimes while interviewing people. Sorry again, Winston. My computer will crash. I think my video card is going, which is, you know, great news for somebody animating. So if this gets cut, I apologize. It just means my computer crashed. So again, I don't even know if somebody who actually knew what they were doing saw this video, they might say I'm doing it wrong. This is in no way a tutorial. This is a behind the scenes thing. But this is how I do it. The program is Photoshop. A lot of people use TV Paint, and TV Paint will do some of the animation for you. I just draw it, and then later in After Effects, I put it all together. Look how much, I mean, she has so much detail. She does have hair, it's just not, it's going to be attached later. Sort of like I do the mouth animations, like you may have seen me mention. The mouth animation comes later, but I draw the main. I draw the piece that the mouth goes on, and then I draw the mouth later to sync it to the audio. Because that's what works for me. Do what works for you. There are probably a million ways to do this. Old flipbook style, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a fan. She has... First of all, I'm not great at coloring or shading. I like doing line work. Not that I'm great at doing line work, but that's what I prefer to do. I'm more comfortable doing outlines and line work and simpler lines. But she's the only character so far in the whole show that I decided to have shading for, as if she wasn't detailed enough. Because I just wanted her to look really magical. Just really stand out as kind of beautiful in every scene that she's in. You guys are going to laugh when you see actually how little of a difference all of this drawing makes, because it gives it a little bit of life, but is in no way, it doesn't really pay off, but I'm doing it anyway. You'll notice I'm not tracing exactly because she's moving, but she's just not moving a lot. It's a reactiony movement, so it's not a perfect trace. It gives it just a little semblance of life, the illusion of movement. Too much. The closer it is, the smoother it'll be. Sometimes you don't want it to be smooth though. Sometimes you want it to be quick or kind of rugged, more rugged. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't even think you'll see this part in the animation because this is a close-up for her, but just in case, when I go to resize it, if you see below her petals, I don't want there to be nothing there. She does have a waist. She has a whole bustle. She's a great character design, at least as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, she looks really cool. Her and Vora. farm. I'm kind of skipping around just where whatever's convenient. It's more about, like I said, it's more about the speed and just having something. I'm going to start developing more swag type things that you can buy in a shop or in a store. And unfortunately, I think Tree here and Vora to some degree, it's going to take a little while to get that deep into the roster. I've got to focus on the Bellossoms themselves first. They really are the main characters. I think maybe I've mentioned this before, but Full Bloom is an origin story, and after this, there won't be technically a season 2. There will just be kind of shorts and insights about their life and what they're up to as Full Bloom resolves. Or has resolved. If you're watching this late, Full Bloom is the origin story. So hopefully, I have this totally down there then. And I can do them more than once a month. Once a month is still pretty challenging. Doable, but not a lot of margin, especially on a short month like February. I try to do them last Saturday of the month. Okay, she's looking pretty good. Skirt doesn't move. Like I said, you're probably not going to see that bottom part. It doesn't matter too much. Very subtle. Almost too subtle. I might have gone too subtle. I want this arm to put that open. No reaction. See how that goes. I cannot, for the life of me, and people still do it, I think, you know, painted these by hand back in the day. Respect to all of those trailblazers. Sleeping Beauty. Man, Sleeping Beauty looks so expensive. Black Cauldron, not a good movie, but looks incredible. So once I get the line working, I'm going to add some color. Normally I would be listening to a podcast or something. If anybody has any recommendations, let me know. But for today, I am your podcast. Really try to draw as much as I can when I can, because side projects still come up. I planned on doing this yesterday, for example. Working on a couple other things. I also really need to go back to doing some like Photoshop tutorials because I spent a lot of time painting these in there or drawing them, and it's pretty simple, but I'd like to get better at really digital painting. I don't consider this quite digital painting. I'm coloring it, but I mean some of these artists are incredible. Everything looks so alive and the lighting's so good. I'm really bad at lighting. I would need reference. I don't use reference often. Most of my stuff is just out of my head. But when I do use reference, I think you can tell because it's a little more structurally sound. It's helpful. Just don't do it. I should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Okay, I think with this part done, that is the majority of her line work. Let's see. Okay, so now got my line work. I'm going to select around it. Oops. That always happens. I know when I miss a spot because it doesn't pick it up. I'm going to select the areas around it. Oh, I'm forgetting how to do it. And contract. Okay. Fill this in with a flat. I'm actually just going to use the color tree. Oh, see? I missed a whole area over here. Look at all this. Ah, I see it. See right here? See this? Maybe here. There are other gaps. It's easier to get it all in one shot. I wish there was an easier, if somebody knows an easier way to make the selection more accurate, that would be great. I don't think there is one, but if there is, fantastic. Please let me know. I am definitely still learning. Okay. So her skin is this blue color. This out a little bit. Okay. Now we'll try to find all the areas with this, the Bellossoms pink color. The color of the foam. Normally I don't draw them with teeth, but when they're reacting to stuff, it helps. Kind of gritting their teeth. turn layers off and on. That's where it gets tricky. Shading in here. See, this is what I'm saying. I did this shading. What was I thinking? Again, for the most subtle movement. So I'm going a little high. It doesn't matter, it's a quick motion. You don't really see it. It's just a matter of adding something there so it doesn't. If you don't have anything, it'll look jerky. It might look jerky anyway. Sometimes you notice things on other ones. You have to go back and fix. This is why. And normally also in an animation studio, you hand this part off to somebody. So you wouldn't sit here and draw the whole thing. Somebody would draw it. Somebody would do the in-betweens. Someone would color it. Paint it. Part. This is the time-consuming part. Like I said, with her, because she's particularly detailed, it's even more time-consuming. But luckily, she's not in that many scenes, and her other ones will be puppeted. So. Too much. So. This is the other one again. Just finding a little, find a little spot to clean up. They're in layers, but then I flatten them just to keep my file sizes down, which probably isn't smart, but that's what I do. It's like I said, computer could crash at any moment. I mean, not only do I have one shadow, I have two. Get this blue tone in here, but again, I mean, I hope it gets appreciated, but these are milliseconds that you may or may not see these. It really just has to do with comparing it to the frame before it and the frame after it, so they relate to each other still. We're still having a conversation. Let's see what it looks like now. See that real subtle, she kicks back for a second. The computer, starting to lag. It adds just a little bit more life. This should probably be a bigger reaction here before it settles down. It's a little jerky. But again, you're only going to see it from like about here. So it's less jerky when you see it like that. But we can in between this. There's no reason not to. This is a good example of starting to see how you have to create a relationship between two frames. Man, that took a whole half hour, guys, for this. That's it. That's all it did. Okay, I like you, tree. Okay, so we need a new that in. All right, so there's quite a bit of movement. See how we got to close that distance to smooth this out between where the first and second one like begin. She's gonna go bigger on her eye. Look for that. That's where I get real quiet because I actually have to think for this part. It doesn't look like I thought it. I do have to think a little bit. This actually, see how it folds? It's curled up like here, and then here it's straighter, so I've got to find that. That looks. Let's see. Let's see. So this is the in-betweening. This is what's called in-betweening. Because you're literally drawing in between two keyframes. The two frames are telling the story. And the in-betweening, as I understand it, is to smooth those relationships out a little bit. To make the transitions believable. I want you to be able to kind of pause this at any part and think the drawing is good, but that's not really the point of animation. The point of animation is to make the motion believable, and sometimes the in-betweens are not. Or just not that. Oh, that's better. Looks like it's actually uncurling. Yeah. That's not an issue there. And then her hand here, it actually bends a little, and then it extends out. So I have to use this hand with this hand. To unfurl these fingers. Extended this one could be bent a little. Sometimes when I am doing a scene, I accidentally change the line quality. I don't mean to, but it's like I already drew it. Oh well. I'm going to move this top of this finger, not just this finger, to try to get that line. Because again, these are related, so they have to be not the same, but similar, because they're talking to each other in between. It goes like something like this. There's another one there. Okay, yeah. We'll see. I'll add a flat of color to it. Move this whole thing again just to get this arm here. Pick up these lines so they're similar. The size on this is double the size, so I do 1080 HD. So all of my files are double that size, so I can kind of zoom in and out. So these are kind of big files. This one right now is 1.3 gigs, and there's not really a whole lot going on yet. It's just physically very big. And sometimes, because it takes more computer power, I can't even see really how crisp it'll come out because I don't do playback in full resolution, so until I'm basically done editing and stuff, I don't even know what's really going to look like. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. Sometimes, usually I'm pretty happy with it. So this probably goes up here. Again, you're not really going to see below her waist. You're not to see this, so I can these other guys off. Yeah, that's a pretty, watch out his hand. Still, if this finger needs some more attention, but you are going to see it for all of the 24th of a second. That her eye kind of pops open because she is alarmed. It's kind of a sad scene. Okay. So now we've got the in-betweens here. We're just going to pick up these kind of in-between the lines and try to get a smooth relationship between these two. Let's see. A lot of times the lines help. They're like guidelines, but sometimes if you miss, or if you think you're picking up one line and you pick up another line, it turns out wrong. Like especially figuring out between frames that are nowhere near each other. That's time consuming. That gets tricky. I think those are the same lines. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it. They met up. Okay, so. It's a bit of a puzzle. There's a lot of. I wish it was more relaxing. Coloring is relaxing, usually, because the thinking part is over. It's just filling in the lines. But this is there's a lot of visual problem solving that has to happen to make these transitions believable. But I'm glad I'm adding an in-between here. It needs it. Sometimes I get lazy. And I'm like, it's fine, and I look, and it looks a little choppy. But again, it's another 15 minutes. If you're still watching, make sure you're subscribed. Show me some love in the comments. Or a critique, I'll take it. If you don't know what character I'm drawing, check out Bellossoms Full Bloom. The webisodes are 2 minutes apiece, give or take. And it's about flowers going on adventures. If you're wondering what that static noise is, it's actually my computer working really hard. So again, I also have a Patreon. If you're feeling Renaissance-y and want to support an artist, it's exactly like that. They used to pay artists to create public works. And I'll put your name in the credits. I don't think this is right, but I'm going to go with it. I think there's another line in here. Where is this? Is this that? Oh. Wait. Okay, so... Okay, so this is literally going to be an in-between between here and here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I think we're so far so good. Have not even gotten to her dress and skirt yet. I'll come back to that. We're gonna let's see how this goes. Oh, wrong one. I need this to be a little bit so I know where I'm transitioning to. Okay. Let's see. I definitely think I'm better at this than when I did the when I first got the music and did like an opening for Bellossoms. It's still on the YouTube channel. I think it's under Meet the Bellossoms, and you can listen to the instrumental. And the way I did it was exporting my videos like largely through Photoshop and then just trying to make it time it out through Photoshop. And it looks choppy. It looks low budget, whereas now I think I've figured out a lot how to smooth things out and make everything just a little bit more believable and alive. So definitely a learning curve. I'm complaining, but this isn't just regular drawing. I mean, there's plenty of drawing, you can see. That's a pretty big in between right here. I might add a blur there or something to get them even closer. Okay, I don't know how much of it you'll really see. Getting a little messy. I don't know. I think I missed one of these. Let's see. It would be. I think this guy right here just needs to be boxier. Smooth that out. I sound like Froggy today. I don't know why. Better. That's better. Oh, look. Color is missing here. See? Just fill that in real quick. That's the other nice thing about going back and forth. You'll see things you miss, but you don't see it in playback because it's so quick and so subtle, which you're really kind of looking for. Anyway, to this guy. I'm not sure if these are going to look jumpy or what. So look at how these are really hard to tell apart here. I'm actually going to just turn one off. Maybe this one. Let's see where I'm going to. This is the next frame, not the before frame. So hopefully. I think it'll be okay. Let's see. All right. 20 minutes now. Let's see. Let's see if I can't speed this up. No, I can't. She's just very intricate. Her specifically. I think I've mentioned before, Vivi takes a really long time, even in puppeting, because she has pigtails and she has ruffles and she has a necklace of beads. And Ru takes a long time because she has a braid, and that's separate from the rest of her hair, so she's got bangs. Gigi's the quickest. She has the least colors, and she just has the hair, and the hair just flows, so I can spend more time on making her hair. So when you watch old episodes and you see Vivi, or you see Gigi's hair moving, Gigi's the red-haired one, if you see her hair moving and then everyone else is static, I ran out of time. Or I missed it. I skipped it somehow, and I didn't mean to. And her hair is fun to draw. It's flowy and... Vivi takes a long time, but nobody has taken. This is really a long time. I'm lucky it's only her really in this scene. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna bring my double back. Put it in between there and in between here, just so that looks a little smoother. I actually wouldn't mind streaming on Twitch when I'm done with Full Bloom and working on the later episodes. I haven't decided what I'm calling them yet. Maybe Sprouts or Branching Out or whatever, but the Bellossoms shorts where it'll be Day in the Life of, that'll technically be the sequel of Full Bloom. I need to call them something. But anyway, when I do, I want to be able to kind of stream this sort of thing on Twitch, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. I don't mind streaming. I just don't want to get a bunch of equipment or anything. So if anyone knows a cheap way to go about it, that won't crash my computer, awesome. Let me know, please, in the comments. I'm not sure I could, well, I would have to. I would just have to. But I was going to say I'm not sure I could keep to a regular schedule, because what I work on with Bellossoms changes every day. Sometimes, ideally, I get to work on the actual episode itself, but a lot of times it's managing the other stuff, whether it's social media or swag or new drawings. Get in between the skirt. Hopefully. And again, you're not going to see really this part, but I like to put it in anyway. Helps figure it out. Let's see. Yeah, it's a smoother motion. So let's color her. Oops. Oh, I forgot an entire part of her shoulder right here. Let's try that back on. It's a little part of the ear picking there. let's see what happens. Alright, looks like I got everything. Back to coloring again. Flat tree color. Okay. See, this is where it starts to get repetitive. Because the colors don't generally change from scene to scene. The brush is too big. I don't know if, oh, alright, yeah. Alright, so, figure out these shapes again. Too deep. I like that because her eye bugs out because it's jarring, but it's kind of supposed to be. Okay. The computer seems to be holding us up. See, we've got a little hole right there. Let's fix that. Select this whole area. Alright. I can probably see this transition a little better. Sometimes my keyboard just shuts off too. I'm telling you, it really is time for a new computer. I think I've had this guy for a while. But it's still serving me really well. I've done the entire show on it and many of my other work prior to that, so I'm not mad at it. It's been a very good companion. It's just like, 2 o'clock. It's not even right. Do it like this. Alright, let's see if this helps. This is also scene like 4 of 26. So this is in no way it's part of a whole. It's not its own thing. I don't know if you guys could even see what I was doing. I was trying to trace the layer below it. I was able to do it. I had to see through it. Closer. Oh, I forgot an entire... Guys, I forgot this entire horn over here. Rookie mistake. Gotta save. Now I'm up to 1.45 gigs. So this is apparently 0.15 gigs worth of drawing. Because I think I said I was at 130 before this. Like I said, big drawing. So the trick is I have to set everything but it and then add to this. So that's the straight back. Here we go, it's back. Again, I'm just adding depth and dimension. I'm not really getting into it being really accurate even. Just adding some life to it to make it feel a little bit more tangible. I like how the shadow shifts right there. It looks sloppy, but it's actually pretty natural. I think maybe better. I'm just sick of drawing it. Now you can see why a lot of scenes are totally imperfect. It takes too long, and I want to be able to finish them in this millennium. So quiet. Maybe I'll add some music in. Some chill. Vibes to music to chill vibes. Okay. All right. More of that shadow color. So close. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, that's a lot smoother. It's subtle, but I think it did make a big difference. It's gonna freeze on this. She's gonna get poked by the vine here. Let's see. Move that up. See, so she'll get poked at some point. And she's reacting to not liking it. So that was that. I'm gonna try to eat maybe, and then get back to this. I have to remind myself to eat because, as you can see, 6 drawings is misleading. But if you like this and you want to see more making of type stuff, subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And as always, keep blooming, flower fans. See you next time.